You're making it bigger. Let me tell you how I get high. I drink and I smoke weed. And I think it's so shitty that everybody's just going to tell me to calm down. I've been. What the fuck is that? I'm not speaking to anybody. I'm not speaking to dog. I'm not speaking to anybody.
What a night, guys. Where do we begin from? Okay, let's start with Wanni, Handi, and Shaun. So, after the party, Wanni was confronting Handi to stop the smear campaign against her, that she's not drunk. You know that point where you're high, but you don't want to accept that you're high. Anyways, it escalated real quick that Wanni had to walk out on Handi, Chizoba, and Onyeka, who are like trying to know what happened, what did I say, what did what did you hear? And Wanni walked out, but then Ben followed Wanni. Wanni said she does not know why of anybody that will accuse her of getting high is Handi, that Handi knows quite well how she gets high, that for her to get high, she will need to drink and take weed, that's the only way she gets high. But now that while at the party she was battling with her makeup got into her eyes, and at that she started tearing up. Only for Shaun and Cassia to come meet her, telling her, oh, look at you, you're high, you're drunk. Most especially Shaun, telling her, oh, you can't even control or gauge yourself. See how you're drunk. And then she now went to her twin sister, Handi, and Handi was now like, oh, Wanni, I know you're drunk, me as well, I'm high, but I'm just trying to hold myself. And at that, Wanni was like, I'm not high. If I'm high, I'll tell you I'm high. She said, did Handi stop? No. Handi kept on telling her, oh, you need to comport yourself, you're losing it, you need to keep calm, you're drunk. Meanwhile, according to Handi said at the time Wanni came to her to talk to her about what Shaun said, that Wanni was yelling and talking at the top of her voice. You know, when people are high and they're trying to be audible enough, so Wanni apparently was yelling, raising her voice to talk to Handi. And at that, Handi said, oh, Wanni, you're drunk. Me too. I'm high, I'm tipsy, but I'm trying to control myself, And that didn't go well with Wanni. Immediately, Wanni switched. Like, we are not the same people. Wanni started telling her, we are not the same people. Yes, we came in together, but you're Handi, I'm Wanni. I can't get drunk over just vodka and all that. You've accepted you're drunk. Good and fine, but don't speak for me. Don't do that. The more Handi tries to calm Wanni down, the more Wanni is saying, no, Handi, don't do that. Don't speak to me in that way. You're yelling at me. You're going off. But then Handi kept assuring her that she has her best interest at heart, that she should just know she's trying to calm her down and not her going all over the place. Well, Ben later convinced Wanni to come have a talk with Handi, that this is just a simple misunderstanding that can even happen with anyone in the house. Just come speak to her. And this is where the whole matter escalated. With Shaun, Handi, and Wanni, Shaun told Ben to excuse them, that he can handle this. And then Shaun was now asking Wanni, why are you acting or what's triggering you? And she said that she overheard Shaun and Topher talking about her while at the party, that she eavesdropped and they were just gossiping about her being high and all that. They were saying a lot of things about her. But then Shaun was now like, wait, we never even mentioned your name. The conversation I was having with Topher is about the outside world, not even about any housemates. But Wanni kept insisting that she eavesdropped and she heard them gossiping about her. And then to Handi now, she said her problem is Handi going around telling everybody that she's high. And Handi kept on telling her, I wasn't doing that, I didn't tell anybody. She said, oh, how did Chizoba and Onyeka, how did they come to know that? They even came to her to tell her, oh, this, you're high, you're drunk, try to keep cool. Well, Shaun then told Wanni that for you to act this way, or say you eavesdropped at a conversation and it was about you while it wasn't about you, that simply means you're high. Handi then added, asking Wanni, but why did you even walk out on me when I was trying to find out the problem? And Wanni said, I didn't walk out on you, I went to pee, I went to use the restroom to pee. Well, she reminded Wanni how she's the only one in the house that has her best interest at heart, that she would never do anything to bring her down or try to hold a smear campaign against her. Handi then did everything possible to calm Wanni down, asking her, why should I or even Shaun say anything to you that will get you triggered to the point of walking out or yelling at us, shouting at us? Why would you get pissed at your loved ones over a little thing like, oh, them telling you that you're high, you need to keep calm? Just right there, Wanni now walked out telling Handi that she's beginning to gaslight her. And she wouldn't stand and watch that happen. The next time the camera came on Handi, she was in the gym crying, and Ocee and Onyeka had to console her. She was crying that she does not know why at any little thing Wanni will go against her and start acting up, something she can't even do to Wanni, but yet at any little problem, Wanni would just throw her under the box. Ocee tried as much as possible to calm Handi down, telling her about the whole sibling rivalry. Ocee is very good at giving such advice, but that wasn't enough. Handi also went to the garden to cry, and this time around, Shaun came to console her, telling her that he thinks that when this show is over, Wanni should go and see a therapist. That Wanni has a lot to offload. That can't you see that at any little thing she switches and it's always crazy. That she has a lot of trauma that she's dealing with. That's just the only thing that explains it. That with you, it's not at her level. That you're intelligent, you're more coordinated than her, you reason better than her, and that he's here to help her. That if they need anything from him, he's willing to offer help. That in fact, the both of them can even help her with her stay in this house, making sure she does not go off like she usually do at any little thing. Ben and Onyeka tried talking to Wanni inside. It was such a funny thing seeing Onyeka advise Wanni, because come on, same Onyeka, we know they agree for Chizoba, giving advice. Well, Onyeka tried talking to Wanni, telling her, do you think that your sister does not understand you? That no one is perfect and that sisterhood is all about grace. That in fact, for tonight, just give her that grace, because Wanni was telling them on how Handi escalated the whole issue, that she even came to the restroom and begged Handi not to escalate this thing, only for Handi to be going around telling people, oh, she's acting up, and everybody coming to meet her to tell her to calm down, calm down. Why would the housemates come and tell her to calm down? Do you know what it means? Well, Ben got tired at some point of talking to Wanni and said, you know what, let me go and call in your sister so we can just resolve this whole thing tonight and go to bed. There is little misunderstanding. Ben going back to the garden to meet Shaun and Handi to come in, and they said, no. Wanni should be the one to come and meet them at the garden. If she doesn't want to, she should forget it. And Ben was even telling them, oh, so we can just say, I want to go and sleep and all that. But guess what? Finally, Wanni stepped out to come and join them in the garden. As they were talking, the next thing, camera did not show this part, but from the conversation later on, I now discovered what happened. So when Shaun, Wanni, and Handi was trying to resolve the whole issue, that Siminoff puzzle stuff, Wanni, they started throwing things at each other, like she became aggressive on trying to resolve the whole matter. And that was what led to the fight between Ocee and Femi. But I won't go to that. I'll make a separate video to explain how it all led to that. So when this whole throwing stuff at each other started happening, Shaun was like, oh, Handi, I told you, leave this thing to me. Leave Wanni. And I'm like, bro, but you were the one talking about ironing things out. Well, Shaun said, I told you Wanni can be, cray sometimes. But don't worry, I'll handle this. But Handi was just crying uncontrollably. Handi, after crying, even went upstairs, tried to rest, but she couldn't rest. Meanwhile, Wanni was in the garden, just sleeping gingerly on the bed, on the garden bed. And Handi, in fact, Ben came to Handi telling her, get some rest. Tomorrow you guys will continue. She said no, that she can't sleep. That one thing with her and Wanni is that if they don't resolve their issues, they barely sleep. And I'm like, wow, is that how twins are? And I remember when Ocee was, comforting Handi in the gym, he actually told Handi, that even after saying you won't want to step in between your sister and her affairs again, that you still do it. That is one thing with us twins, that you must care. The next minute you're caring about that person. Well, Handi now said, well, she's going to the garden. She talked to Wanni for the last time. And going in there, she cried. She crowed. Handi cried, explaining herself, telling Wanni how she does not mean to disrespect her, but you're always disrespecting me. You can't stand for me. At any little thing, you throw me under the box. But, my dear, initially, Wanni was not moving. No, it was just as if she was still sleeping. Well, the next time, Wanni raised up her head and she told Handi to stop it. That the last thing she wouldn't do is try to gaslight her once again. That she was the one that escalated the whole issue. That it wasn't about her and she. That it was just about her alcohol, and herself. But you try to get in between, and before you know it, you made it about yourself. That you're talking about her not standing up for you. Have you forgotten what happened in your previous relationship? Have you forgotten what happened with George? Even when you threw her out, that she still stood by you. She has always supported you, even at her own detriment. Do you want her to start talking of things she has actually done for you? And here you are saying she does not respect you, she does not reciprocate the energy you give her. Why would you even say that? Well, after the back and the forth, Wanni and Handi was able to reconcile their differences, and Handi even apologized for how it all started. After that, Handi said she wasn't feeling well, as she was feeling like someone that wants to throw up. She even asked her sister what they want to eat so as she could make something for her. But Wanni declined, saying she's fine. And I'm like, why is Sandy the caring one, always asking, what do you want? What do you want? Well, it's such a good thing to see that they've reconciled. Handi also spoke with Shaun not to feel any way burdened that they always bring their issues to him. But Shaun told him, no, it's good and fine that the both of them are his friends. So at that, he's always willing to step in. She shouldn't even feel anyhow that, it's always on him, because they were like, oh, you could have been doing your punishments, but here we are stressing you with our issues. But Shaun said, it's fine. When Shaun said the both of you are my friends, I say, you're not going to differentiate. Anyways, don't mind me. I'm glad they are both fine as they've entered into the main lounge. What a night. Meanwhile, don't forget to turn on your post notification bell. I'm bringing you more gist. Everything happened last night, and I'm bringing all to you. Okay, stay tuned.